So hello everyone, still Francesco again. This video we're going to talk about how to present the deck. So as you know, 80% of the communication is non-verbal. So what does that means? It means that when people listen to you, they mostly listen to your tone of voice and your body language to understand whether you're saying something smart or saying something valuable or no. Okay, so how you're going to present a deck is very, very important. Again, a deck by itself should be important. We already discussed how to create a good deck before, but the way you present, especially for emerging markets, where we are not used to see deck presentation, and most of us are not English native speaker, this is massively important. I can tell you that I've seen a lot of times, like plenty of times, people doing a very, very, very bad company, getting a lot of money, especially in pitch events and demo days, because they know how to present well. And I've seen a lot of people with great companies that get zero money because they got no clue on how to present their business. So what today we're going to do, I'm going to tell you the secrets that I've seen working every time when it comes to presenting business. So we'll discuss the deck. But now, how to present it? 3 principles you need always to learn. The first principle is called the swing effect. What is the swing effect? This is a swing. The swings, how does the swing goes? The swings go back, you push it back, and the more you push, the upper it goes. Okay, so push back goes up. Push back, back goes up, up. Push back, back, back goes up, up, up. What does that mean? The swing effect is one of the most useful, used, and effective techniques in the whole history of sales or fundraising or whatever you are going to call it. The more you, as the same way you push a swing back and it goes up, the more you push a deal, the more you say you cannot have it, the more people want it. So the more, so a Rolex and a Casio tells the same time, but the Rolex is $6,000 and the Casio is $30. Although people will fight for a Rolex, but will never fight for a Casio because Rolex are not accessible. You need a lot of money and you need to wait months to have a Rolex. While Casio, you can have one tomorrow at $30. So that's why we want a Rolex, because most of the people cannot afford it. Okay, that's the whole point. Right or wrong, that's the point. Now, people want, so, you know, limited edition, okay? All the shoes, they're limited edition. People want it because they're limited edition, so they cannot have it all the time. They can have it just now. So the less accessible a deal, the better it is. With investments, it's particularly true. Because as you remember, we discussed it before, we investors, we think of one thing. Is this person going to be a unicorn? If the answer is no, we're never going to invest. If the answer is maybe, we might invest. But if the answer is maybe, we might invest. It means that we can or cannot. But if you raise from me and you fail, it's fine. But if you raise from someone else and you even become a unicorn, I'm into trouble. So I need to be here if anyone else is raising. So what does that mean, swing effect? If as an investor, I have the feeling that you are going to raise and you're going to do without me anyway, that's when my willingness to invest will increase. So what you need to do as a founder, in theory, is explain to me that in a non-verbal way. So you don't need to tell me, all the people are investing, you should, because it's never true. If you tell something like this, people will never invest because it's not true. If you already got money, why are you talking to me? But you should give me signal. You should give me an understanding that you're talking with several people and they're already there. So how does a person that has a lot of investors behind their back, ready to invest, will act? They will be very self-assured they will not push you. They will won't care of what you do because they're going to have their money anyway. So acting this way is called the swing effect. So you push the person back and it goes up. If the investor is asking something a bit too much, then you just say simply, look, I cannot do it. That's something that happens every time. One of the most successful fundraiser all time is the brothers that create Rocket Internet. And they were famous because the investor wants to say to them something. If the investor say to them, look, what about your lifetime value? They will look at them and say, lifetime value is stated in slide 12. Please go read it or don't bother me. Usually people treat investors like superstars. They were treating them like literally like they didn't care. And this increased the level of attention the investor has, because investors start thinking this guy will succeed because this guy already go invest. If you treat me bad, it means there's got someone on their back. So this is the first thing. So swing effect. What does swing effect means? It means that you need to give me the signal that, and I'll tell you how anyway. So I'll tell you how to do it, but you need to give me the signal that you're gonna raise anyway. You don't need me. That's the whole point. You don't need me. You need to give me this signal. You need always to be nice, always to be smart, always to be kind, but you should have a signal that you don't need me. That's the whole point. Because if you don't need me, I want you. If you need me, I don't want you. Okay? You will see this all the time in love, no? Do you remember, like, when you want someone and you're very needy for someone's attention, someone loves, you'll never get it back. But if you don't need someone, the people start chasing you. Okay? So let's go for it. And let's discuss about the second point. Again, so we invest in things that we understand. So if you come to me with a base idea in I don't know, again, crypto blockchain, I don't understand, and I just simply gonna say no. If you come to me with a mobile marketing idea I don't understand, then I can look at it. The problem is that sometimes, even if I do understand mobile marketing, if you come to me with an idea that you're very, very bad in presenting, I'm not going to understand, because you explain so bad that even if it's good, they just say no because I don't understand. So sometimes you get great idea, great business, etc. Very bad delivery, no investments. So what do? You need to packet your information in a way that we understand. How do we understand? You need to make sure that the attention span of an investor is the same as a goldfish, and the understanding level is the same as a toddler. So you need to speak very, 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 very slow. This is the right speed that you should use when it comes to pitching, because in this way you will make sure their attention level is very high. They listen and understand. If you speak really fast, they never understand. If you speak very slow, they do understand. Then, so right now, obviously, for the sake of time, I'm explaining fast because this is a video and it's recorded and you can listen to it every time. But in theory, this is, you should speak very, very, very slow. This is, again, if one thing that can be stuck here is always speaking slow to investors. That's the most important thing. Second thing, when you're explaining stuff, you obviously are in your business 24/7, every day, every night. So you know a lot of stuff and you're taking it for granted, but it's not true. You need to understand that sometimes people don't understand you. So you need to explain your stuff as you're talking to a baby, okay? You need to explain stuff as you're talking to a 12 years old. That's the whole point, because that's what we are. We see business every time, and if we don't get it, so if this, we run an example, there's a famous example run last time. So people were asked to watch a documentary and then reported on what they learned, and they say, did you understand this concept? Yes. When they're trying to explain, they didn't. So people, we think that we know stuff because I learned from you and I read your deck and I speak to you, but the reality is that I don't know anything. I simply assume that I do. So you need to make sure I do understand. How do you do it? With very slow talking and simple talking. So first thing, swing effect. So let me understand that you don't need me. That's the point. How do you don't need me? You need to be self-assured. You need to never be needy, never. So speak and pretend you have everything sorted, you don't need me. That's the whole point. Second thing, speak very slow to a baby. Second thing, we don't trust you, okay? We never trust you. So if you want to build trust, there's two things you need to do. The first thing is sometimes we will ask you stuff. If you don't know, don't try to convince them. Don't try to convince me. Don't speak me over. Don't speak over me. Just listen to what I see. Take a big deep breath before talking and say something. If you don't know, you say very slowly that you don't know. Now, one thing that you never ever have to do is lying, because if you lie and I spot you, it's done. So if you say that your CAC is 1.5 and it's 1.48, for me, you lost. For me, you lied on everything, okay? So because I don't know you, so I will decide on this very small information I have on you, that is your pitch deck, okay? Again, this is very important to keep in mind. And if this is something that I want you to remember, is this on how to deliver the deck. So people think that the more they talk, the better it is, but it's not true. It's better to say, I have a company doing 1 million revenue in the last 12 months, and then shut up, don't say anything, than having a 5-minute speech on your company. Why? Because if you do the first option very slowly and self-assured and confident, saying, I have a company with 1 million revenue, I will be interested and I want to know more, and I will start asking questions. If I ask you a question, I'm saying to myself that I'm interested in you, so I'm building signal. People, they are very self-assured, they don't sell. They just say the list of the things. So if you say more things than what's needed, then people think you are selling. And if you're selling, you need them, and they don't need you. So less investment. Again, I'll tell you again, say less word as possible, because people that are successful, people that are strong, they don't need to talk too much. So you need to look like one. So don't talk, just say the list of the possible and wait for questions. If there's no question, move on. Another important thing is that, so why you need to speak less, because the less you speak, the more people ask a question, first thing, the more you will look like someone that don't need to oversell or talk too much. Cool. 3, you're going to be remembered for the only thing you said. If you say hundreds of things, people will remember like 10 or 20 things, but you don't know which one. If you say one thing, people will remember one thing, and that's the thing you decided to say. That is, I made 1 million in 12 months. Easy peasy. An important thing, again, I said it again, say very slowly. Why you should say very slowly? Because if you talk slow, people understand. If you don't talk slow, people don't understand. And if we don't understand, we don't invest. I know it sounds boring, but you need to talk slow. Also, because if you talk slow, attention level goes up and you start getting more attention to investor. And if you get their attention, you also pay money. On top of it, people talk fast. So people talk fast. If you talk slow, you stand out from the crowd. 3, be confident. How can you be confident? remember that we invest again in just who we think they don't need our money. So it means that if you are confident, probably you don't need my money, hence I want to give you my money. How can you be confident? You need to remember one thing. You need to remember one thing. The thing you need to remember is that in the world, there are 3 trillion of capital for the startups. 3 trillion, okay? But there's only one you. So if they don't want to invest in you, you've got other 299 trillion, no, 2.99 trillion to look for. But they miss you, and you are only one. So remember, there's a lot of capital, but just one you. This is going to help you to be confident. Speak slowly. Say just the few things you have to say, no more. It's better to shut up and wait for questions than over deliver information and overcharge. Okay. Then another thing is, like, the more information you give, the more as an investor I'll be shocked and I say, look, I need some time to process. So I will never say yes. Finally, another important thing. This is the dynamic of sales. This is a dirty trick. When you are interviewing someone, you ask a lot of questions because you got the power and you want to know more. When someone is interviewing you, is someone asking a lot of questions to you because they got the power and they want to know more. So in theory, in our brain, in our stupid brain that's wired for like 5 million years ago, we think that the person that's asking the more the question is the one that is evaluating, is the one with more power. Okay, the teacher asks you a question and you answer, and you are trying to impress the teacher by talking a lot. And the bad salesman, the snake oil salesman is always talking a lot and blabbering because he wants to convince you. While the Rolex salesman is not going to talk to you. He's going to show you the Rolex. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, ciao. Okay? So what does this mean? It means that you need to, I say, well, you need to look as a winner. The winner doesn't talk. And when he does, he does it slowly. He does with confidence. And just say what's necessary and ask a lot of questions. Why? Because in our brain, if you ask questions, you are the one in charge. So when you are talking to an investor, remember that being an investee means being an investee means having a relationship with someone for 10 years. It's like marriage, okay? So you want to be married with the right person. You will never be married with someone random just because it's got money. So you want to understand if it's the right investor for you. So start asking questions to the investors. That's great. Did you finish? Is it my time to ask question? Okay. How did you behave with startups? What is your value with them? What do you do for them? Can you tell me any startups you invested in last time? What are you doing? Anything for them? Okay. No, just to let you know that we have, so just to let you know, I want to have all the information anyway for my, before going on. So I want to know more about you, dear investor. So this is going to put you in a position of power, of control. And this is what we want. It's not what we want, but it's what we invested in, because we're biased. We are investors and we are biased. And if we see someone of power, we're going to like him more. Final thing, if you don't know something, so that's the whole point. If I tell you something and you don't know it and you say something, you lie. So if I say, okay, cool, what do you think, where do you think you're going to go in 5 years? If you say something like, yes, I'm going to build this and I'm going to build that, and I know the industry, I know this is not possible, I will start thinking that you don't have a good judgment. And I will start thinking that you're probably lying to me, or you're probably not smart as you seem. So everything else in your pitch deck doesn't make any sense. This guy's not smart because he said one lie to me. But if you say to someone, I don't know, like, what do you think I'm going to be in 5 years? You can say, look, this one, that's what I know. The other one, I don't know. I'm still figuring out. What do you think? If you say something like this, you're going to give me 3 signals. A, you don't impress me. You say, oh, you don't impress me. You don't need to impress me. If you don't know, you don't know. That's great. Second thing, you always say the truth, because if you say you don't know, I assume that the last thing that you say you say that, because otherwise you wouldn't say that you didn't know. Third thing is, when you say you don't know, you are eager to learn. You know someone that knows everything. And this is the perfect person I want to build a business in, because successful entrepreneurs always listen to the feedback, not investors' feedback, but feedback of the market. Remember, again, there's a lot of capital, but just one you. So whenever you walk into someone, remember that he should be the one looking for you, not the other way around. Being an investor is the closest thing to being a superstar that a top model that I've experienced. I'm an ugly Italian guy, okay? But when I got the money, people treat me like a superstar. Ask me how I am. Ask me what do I do. Ask me how's my children, okay? That's the thing. Before, when I used to be an entrepreneur, and I was a good one, a successful one, no one actually cared about me. Right now, everyone caring about what do I do? What did I do this weekend? Why? Because they want my money and they're trying to be kind. But if someone comes to me and doesn't ask me about what I'm doing or what my business, just simply like tell me with very confidence what they're doing, and if I'm willing to invest, if I'm not, it's completely fine. This is when I simply get interested, because I think, okay, this person doesn't need my money, otherwise it would be nicer. It means they already got money, it means that I want to be him. Next video, we're going to talk about the most common mistakes, and see you in the next video.